Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Alex and I talk about all things print on demand. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to upload your picture to Redbubble the right way. It's been about 2 years since I last posted a video about how to upload to Redbubble, so I thought I was long overdue for a new and improved version. In this video, I'll be showing you the complete Redbubble uploading process from start to finish and some tips along the way to make it a lot easier for you. So make sure to watch the entire video if you want to see how I uploaded this design to Redbubble without a problem. And of course, if you want to see more videos from me, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Alright, with that being said, let's get into the first step. So the first step is to make sure your design is ready to be uploaded. Yes, this sounds obvious, but you don't know how many times I've seen people upload the wrong designs and it looks bad on products, the sizing is all wrong, or it's blurry. So one of the most important things to keep in mind for this step is to make sure you have the right dimensions for your design. This sets the tone for the entire process, so you want to make sure everything is either the same size and it's big enough to fit on all the products, or you can also upload individual designs to each product to fit the exact specifications of the dimensions you want. It's up to you what you do. Personally, I just like having one large image so it goes easily on all the designs, but you'll run into issues sometimes with like backpacks or more specific products that need specific dimensions and a specific template uploaded. So if you are in the niche of selling backpacks or those more specific products, you'll definitely have to upload different dimensions for those ones. But if you're taking the all-in-one approach, it usually fits really good on most designs. I'd say about 90% of the designs. And for the other designs that's not quite perfect, you can actually edit it within Redbubble to make it look a little better. But that's what I recommend, especially if you're a beginner and you want to just get as many designs up there as possible. The dimensions I usually use are 10,000 pixels by 10,000 pixels if it's a square, or at least 10,000 pixels on the shortest side if it's not a square. That way it guarantees that it'll fit on all your products, even the bigger ones such as duvet covers. If you're curious about all the specific dimensions for all of the products, you can find them here on Redbubble's website. I'll link them right now so you can take a screenshot of my screen if you want them for future reference. Alright, the other thing you have to take into consideration in this step is to make sure your designs are not blurry. I can't tell you how many times I've seen designs that are super blurry on Redbubble, and that usually means that nobody's going to buy them. So one way to prevent blurry designs is to start your original design at a large dimension so you don't have to blow it up afterwards. So whatever tool you're using to make your designs on, whether it's Canva, Photoshop, or some other free software online, make sure you're starting, if you can, at 10,000 by 10,000 pixels. If not, you can start maybe at like 8,000, 6,000, and then blow it up a little bit after. That shouldn't affect it. But if you are starting at like, I don't know, 1,000 by 1,000, and then you blow it up to get to 10,000 pixels, it's gonna lose some of its fine edge and get a little bit blurry. With photographs, it's a little easier to get away with this. They don't get as blurry when you blow them up, and especially with phones nowadays, they're already such good quality, so you can blow them up a little bit more and they're fine. That's how I get away with blowing up my pictures, and when they print, they still look just as good and crisp. But that's just something to keep in consideration when you are making designs, because you want to make sure you have the best quality design uploaded. Alright, so let me show you how I would go about resizing my image or getting the right size to begin with. So one way to do this is to go into Canva and create a new design. I created a custom design and chose the maximum size of 5,000 by 5,000. Of course, if it's a rectangle, you can adjust accordingly, but yeah, for showing you guys, that was easier. So now I'm going to upload that image that you saw into this square. I also did a Canva tutorial last week about this and some other cool tips for Canva, so you can check that out if you want, but this is still one of the ways I do it, so I want to include it in this. And once I have it in place, I'm going to click download and double the size so we have a size of 10,000 by 10,000 pixels, and then all I have to do is download and I'm set. If you want an easier way to do it, just open the image on your desktop and then click Tools and Adjust Size. Right here, I've already changed the size because I've uploaded this picture before, but here is where you would change it to the exact width and height you want. I always make the dimensions custom and scale it proportionally and resample image. Make sure you scale proportionally, otherwise it'll be stretched out weird and it's not going to look good. So the second step is to actually start the uploading process. So this is actually pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to go right into Redbubble and show you how it's done. So we're on the Redbubble homepage, and you want to click on your icon here and go to Add New Work. Once you're there, you'll see two options: Upload New Work and Copy Existing Work. So for my first example, I'm going to show you what Upload New Work looks like, and then I'll do a version of Copy an Existing Work. Okay, so upload your image here, and then I'll show you what to do after. And as you can see, it is loading. but everything like the title, tags, description is blank, so you really are starting from scratch with this one. All right, now let's go back and I'm going to show you what copying settings from a previous artwork looks like. So you start the same, add new work, and then press copy an existing work. This will take you to your manage portfolio section where you can browse through your artwork and see which one you want to copy the settings for. So since I've already uploaded this, that's the one I'm going to choose to copy, and you want to click copy settings. So now you have all the same settings for that previous work, and all you have to do is replace the image with your current one and change a few of the tags, title, and description. So as you guys saw, you have two options. You can either create a completely new upload from scratch, or you can copy settings from a previous upload. I definitely use both of these settings depending on my designs and what I'm looking for. I always try to use the copy settings post as much as I can because it saves you a lot of time and it makes uploading easier because a lot of the information is already there for you. For example, when you'd want to use a copy settings post is if you have a similar design to something you've already uploaded where you can use the same tags and the same settings. As an example, I usually copy settings for all of my ocean photography because I obviously want to keep most of the same tags in there, and I just edit a little bit based on the location or what's going on in the picture, or even some of my cloud photography because that's also kind of the same theme all the time and I want to keep those general tags in there. One thing to keep in mind if you are going to use the copy settings option is that you always should upload the same exact dimensions as the one you're copying from. Otherwise, the images might get distorted on your designs and then it'll just cause more work for you. And I've done this before and it's not worth it. So make sure whatever you're uploading is the same exact dimensions as the one you're copying from. Alright, so now that we're done that, we have to move on to step 3, which is to add a title, tags, and description. So this is probably the least fun of all of the components of the uploading process. I know it's my least favorite. Let me know in the comments below if it's also your least favorite, but it is actually one of the most crucial steps, so it is really important that you take this seriously and put effort into it. The reason this section is really important is because it's what allows people to find you when they're searching on Redbubble, and pretty much the only thing that will be directing them to your shop apart from liking your art when they see it. So some things to keep in mind when you're doing your tags and title and even description is to use keyword-rich titles, descriptions, and tags so that people can find you when they're searching. You also want to make sure you're using a variety of tags to ensure that you're capturing a wide audience and that you're not just pinpointing yourself in one specific category. I've actually made a video about Redbubble tagging in the past, so I can link that here for you guys if you want to watch that after this video. I'm probably going to make an updated version of that as well because it is a little bit older, but a lot of the tips in there are still very valid and work, so go check that out if you want a little bit more information on how to do this section properly. As a quick tip, Redbubble does recommend using around 15 tags, so I would recommend sticking within that 15 to 20 range. I've seen it vary on the website, so as long as you're within there, not using too little or too many tags, you should be good. Now let's give you a quick tagging 101 guide right now in case you don't want to watch another video and you want to upload your designs today. Here's what you have to keep in mind. So some things you can tag are the content that appears in your design. For example, flowers, trees, oceans, anything like that that's actually in the design. Another thing you can tag are any themes that are in the designs. So an example of some themes would include nature, sports, Christmas, stuff like that. Lastly, you can also tag the style or color palette of your design. For example, if you're using pastels, you can tag pastels or romantic or paint if you painted it, or acrylic or something like that, just to really use up all your tags to the best of their abilities. When it comes to the description, it's not as important as the tags, but it's definitely a good place where you can stuff in a few more keywords that can help bring people to your shop. Of course, you still want to make it relevant to your design, but yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. Also in the description, you want to describe your work, obviously, as it's telling you to do. So either give a little bit of background of what it is, how you made it, what inspired you to make this, or even a little story that might make your artwork a little bit more interesting than someone else's. Alright, so let me show you how this is done in Redbubble. So we've added the new work and now we have to add a title. So it says up to 4 to 8 words to describe your work. So in this one, I decided to try to include a few different themes in my title. So I'm going with minimal sage green cactus in the summer. Yes, that's what I wrote. And I decided to use minimal because that's its own separate theme. Sage green is a really popular color this year, so I thought I would include that. And then summer is another category. So with the tags, I added a few here, and then I'm going to cut some of them down because I think I put too many, so I don't want to have an overload on tags, and I want to keep the most important ones in there. So once again, a few different themes like cactus, botanical, nature, minimal, summer, nature lover, outdoors, travel, all that can embody this image and might be something those people that are searching those tags would look for. All right, so next we have our description, and I'm going to be honest, descriptions are not my forte. I do tend to keep them pretty simple, but you definitely should make use of the space. So I was really trying to come up with something here that, I don't know, would sound okay, but also included some of the good keywords in there. So let's see what I came up with. So I decided to go with a description of when I saw this and why I decided to take a picture of it. I think that's pretty good, especially for photography. It's nice for people to see kind of like the intention behind you taking the photo, and yeah, I think otherwise it speaks for itself. So there we have it, a beautiful tropical cactus I saw while visiting my local nursery. It reminded me of being on vacation, so I had to snap a picture. And that's it for the title, tags, and description. So the fourth step is to check your design placements and adjust if necessary. Some of the things to keep in mind in this section is to check for any disabled products. Sometimes Redbubble doesn't enable all your products right away, whether that's because it's children clothing and you need to manually do it, or because it's a new product and they're not sure if you want to sell it, or if it's not the right dimensions and they haven't automatically enabled it. Either way, you want to check that everything you want to sell and can sell is enabled. Another thing to check for in this section is to make sure there are no unintentional white spaces around your designs. So a lot of times I see white borders or white edges on other people's designs, and this is because they uploaded dimensions that were too small to fit those products, so the image couldn't fully cover it. And I know this is a mistake I've done a lot in the past because I didn't realize there was like a little white border on one product of a certain design, and then I realized it like months later or sometimes years later. So it's good to check for this before you actually publish your design and just give everything a quick rundown to make sure they look good on every product. So let's double check my work now. Okay, so here we have our product previews, and right off the bat, the standard print clothing is not enabled. I don't know why, but even after you enable it, there's still the children's clothing that need to be enabled. So you actually have to go right into the design right here and check off all the kids' clothing, and then make sure to apply the changes so it actually saves. All right, so all these look good. The caps, I'm surprised they were enabled. Let's see. We have stickers and magnets. Those need to be enabled too. I'm actually surprised because usually there aren't so many disabled right off the bat. Okay, everything looks good. Mini skirts are disabled as well, so we'll enable that. I'm really happy with how all of the products have the design laid out on them. I think it looks really good, and it was able to actually adjust accordingly to all of them. Okay, so two more I had to enable there. Wow, I'm actually really surprised. And then leggings. Okay, so I think I had like 5 I had to enable myself manually. That's surprising. Usually I have maybe like 1 or 2 at max. So I guess that was a good example to show you guys that sometimes you just have to do it manually. And then here we have the advanced products. Like I said before, you can download the templates to design for those so that it actually fits on them properly. So for step 5, it's super easy. All you want to do now is select the type of media you used, put it in the right collection, and select its default product. Let me show you how to do this now. So this is the section we have to worry about right now. First, we'll take care of the media. We can select up to 2, and I always recommend to do 2 because you might as well. I'm selecting photography and digital art. Digital art because I have edited it on the computer, so it is altered from the original. Next, for collections, I'm going to add it to my plant collections. It's nice to have a wide variety to choose from for your artwork. For the default product, there's lots of options there, but I always do optimized as that is the recommended. And who can view this work? Make sure it's public so people can buy, and click no for is this mature content, and then just click that waiver that it's your original art. Personally, I always love adding my work to collections. I think it sorts out your products really nicely and helps people shop better on your store. So I would highly recommend adding collections to your store. All right, so now that we've done all this work, we are on our final step, step number 6, submitting our design. So this is easy. It's literally a click of a button, as you can see here. And once you've done this, you probably won't see your design in your shop for around 15 minutes or so. It usually takes around that much time to actually be visible for buyers and to see in your shop. So don't worry if you don't see it right away, it will show up. Just check like half an hour later and it should be there. So now that your design is up, you're ready to start selling. So that is the uploading process. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it and learned some new tips that you can use the next time you upload. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions about uploading, and let me know any other type of video recommendations that you want me to film, any other questions you might have about Redbubble as a whole, because I know it can be tricky to navigate that website sometimes, so it's easier to watch like bite-sized videos like this to figure everything out. But that's all I have for today. So once again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you watching this and subscribing. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.